YouTuber subscribers and friends and alike, it's Grant coming at you from a rest area welcome center just north of Chattanooga, Tennessee, up here by the Tennessee Lake. Some kind of Girl Scout thingy going on here, like 3 different cars. A whole bunch of red shirts going into the welcome center. I'm gonna check this area out and be here for a little bit because on the way up here I noticed blue smoke coming out of my exhaust there in the rearview mirror. I just checked the oil last week and a half ago or something, and it was full. But I forget if blue smoke means there's no oil, I think, or low on oil. And white smoke means that you're over full on oil, if I remember right. But I don't know why she started smoking. Of course, she had to climb up a bunch of... It was almost straight uphill all the way here from Chattanooga. I'm on the way to Murfreesboro, if you can say that. I don't know how to pronounce it. This morning, I had court. If you were watching my current video series about last Saturday night, Sunday morning, I was with Kiana. This chick I'd met a week before that, and been hanging out with her for a week. And we ended up getting it on in the van in the back there. And we had a busy hotel parking lot, and a older couple like that heard us and called it in to the police, to come check, to talk to us and whatever. So the police showed up, and 20 minutes later, after sitting in the both of us sitting in the cop car in cuffs, two different cop cars in cuffs, the cops were really trying to intimidate us, and yelling at us and screaming at us that we're, if we don't start talking, we're gonna end up in jail and blah blah blah. And I knew it was a bunch of lies that cops say because they didn't have anything to go on. But Kiana admitted to going at it in the back of the van there, and then they tried to give us a summons for public indecent exposure. This morning, well, what happened that evening was the cops tried to give us a summons. I didn't sign mine, and then the cops had to rush off to a different call, so the cop just kind of threw my copy of the summons at me and said to show up at court or they'll issue a warrant. Well, come to find out this morning that the judge just flat out dismissed my charge because I didn't sign the summons. I went to court this morning it was supposed to be there at 9:30. So I was there at 9:15 and signing in at the clerk of courts thingy at the line, saying that I'm there so that they put everybody in order and whatnot. And I gave the clerk my copy of the summons. She looked through it and said, "No, your charges have been dismissed this morning, 2 hours ago this morning, because the judge expected me to be in jail, because when you don't sign a citation or a summons, that's their only recourse, is to put you in jail so that they can make sure to put you in front of the judge if you're not willing to sign the citation or the summons." Well, they didn't do that night because the cops rushed off to a different call. And so that morning, on the morning docket thing that the judge had, he dismissed my charge altogether because he said there's no way to know whether I'd show up or not, and it's no legal reason to have to show up, because I didn't say I would be there. On the summons, when you sign the summons, it basically says you'll be there at such a date and such a time, and if not, they can come after you with a warrant. Because they have something showing that you said you'd be there, and you technically lied and didn't show up. But I didn't sign any summons saying I would legally be there. Anyway, Kiana's court appointment was 9:45, so I gave her that 5-cent that it cost me, that paper to print from the library about the Tennessee state law. I went to the library and printed that off, so this whole thing cost me 5 cents. That's not bad. And I really lucked out because I didn't have to go to court on that whole thing. I don't know why she admitted to it anyway. We sat there in court for a while, and she, stood up with the group counsel dude that was there. And it was just a discovery hearing. It wasn't an actual charges or nothing, just a discovery hearing to see if there's enough there to indict with, to send to a jury to indict, and so on and so forth. But just a discovery summons. And anyway, judge says that since she admitted something happened, it's not whether or not something happened, it's whether or not whatever happened was indecent or not. And according to the paper that I handed her, that she handed the judge, and of course the judge already knows that, Tennessee state law states that it's not a crime to do something like have sex in a van, as long as the parties involved make it a reasonable attempt to hide what's going on from the general public view. And then the judge asked the cop what the witnesses said they heard or saw whatever, and the cop looked in his police report thingy and read off that they told the 911 dispatcher or whatever that there was indecent sounds coming from the van, and that's all they saw. So there wasn't anything there, and he dismissed Kiana's court summons to you because there's nothing to go by. They wouldn't have anything to prove on their end if they tried to follow it. But that ended up being all morning long because I was there from just before 9:30 all the way to 11. It's now like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, give or take. And I'm headed north out of Chattanooga to go up to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, where the Amazon Fulfillment Center for the part-timers and the work campers are. Because there are 2 Amazon Fulfillment Center, smaller fulfillment centers right there in Chattanooga that pay $12.25 an hour for full-time, full-time year-round employees, but they're not willing to hire you if you only want to be on for a month or 2 like I do. I don't want to be there permanently. Yes, I could technically take a permanent job and lie and say, yeah, I'll be here year-round, I want to leave here, blah, 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 and leave 2 months later if I wanted to get the $12.25 an hour. But I'm not a big fan of Chattanooga, and then after this happened, something just tells you to keep moving on, to leave that whole thing behind because of that whole deal. So I did so, and now I'm about 20 miles north of Chattanooga at a Tennessee lake and welcome center and rest area thing along I-24 West, I think it says. Gonna go to Murfreesboro this afternoon, and there's a labor ready in town there, and Murfreesboro is a lot smaller. It's about the size of Rapid City, South Dakota, I would guess, with like 60,000 people. So there may or may not be work, but at least it's a smaller area. I'll have to see for sure on that. Back to the van. I'm letting the van cool off here so that I can check the oil again, because I'm not sure what's going on with the blue smoke. I was having to be on the gas hardcore though, coming all the way up the mountain. It was pretty much a straight all the way up here from Chattanooga. So maybe that's what it was getting at that they didn't like, or bad gas that's in there or something. But it's pulling harder, and the last time that I drove a vehicle that pulled kind of slightly hard like that was my minivan, and just outside of Lincoln, Nebraska, going towards Grand Island, Nebraska. She blew up. So I'm hoping I didn't warp a gasket or whatever the heck is in there, Or it could just be the carburetor needs cleaned, and that's what it was peeing out stuff from or something. So if anybody online here watching the video knows about older carburetor gas engines, please leave me a comment below as to what this could be for this type of Explorer and this type of Dodge van. Those guys were looking at me really weird talking to my phone. Just love to be on camera when that happens. This is going to be a pretty long video. I don't know when I'm going to be able to load it. Like I say, I'm going to be here for a little while to let the van cool down. I'm going to check the oil, and then I'm going to try to continue on. However, the problem is I don't have enough money. I have enough money in gas to get there, and for gas around town for a little bit to work. But I won't have the 5 or 10 extra bucks it's going to take for oil or something if she developed an oil leak on me or something. It doesn't look like it's leaking underneath or anything like that. But she sure was chucking out some blue smoke. Not heavy blue smoke or nothing, but every now and then you'd see blue smoke, and then every now and then not. But it seemed to clear up the further up the mountain, and the slower I went back pulling into the rest area and everything, it seemed to like clear up, even when you're on the gas. So I don't know what the heck was going on. Maybe it just had stuff in the tank that it was burning off or something. I don't know. But she is pulling a little harder, which kind of gives me the feeling of back in the day when I had my minivan and it blew up. Hopefully this van's not on its last legs. If that is the case, I have a backup plan that I didn't have before, because this morning I checked my mail in general delivery at the post office, and my mom sent me a card, and I had a couple credit card option things that I had applied for at the time when I was going to go into expediting, and the guy said you should just get a $500 or $1,000 credit limit for a credit card, see if you can, and then he could put me on the road. So that's the applications for that. That is no longer the thing. And then that's my tax paper for Sylvan Lake or something, statement from him, for direct deposit statement. And this is the vehicle title for the van. So now even if she does crap out on me somewhere, as long as I'm in town someplace and I can call a junk car dealer to come get it or something, I can get some money back on the metal, because this van does have a lot of metal and some copper and whatnot in it. So I could get something back out of it if it did crap out to the point where it's not worth rebuilding, because if this engine does go and everything else is shot, it's just not worth my time to go back into it. However, if it craps out on the road, I'd be screwed, because then you have to have it towed someplace. And pay that $80 tow bill plus, you know, 20 bucks a day storage or whatever they wind up costing you. But this video is getting pretty long. At a 10-minute video, I rarely make this long a video, but I wanted to update you on everything that's happening and let you know where I'm going from there. And basically, I'm gonna go up to Murfreesboro, I can't even pronounce it, Tennessee, where the fulfillment center for work campers specifically is, so that I can, you know, apply and work out of there. And I'm gonna work out of the labor ready there, that I'm sure sends people up there to fill in at the workforce center when they can't get enough work campers. And work for labor ready for 10 bucks an hour, 10-hour shifts, it's 100 bucks a day, and then go into being a work camper for $10.75 an hour and have an RV spot that I may or may not use. By the time I get there, they have an RV spot that's 5 miles away, another RV spot that's 17 miles away, and another RV camper spot, you know, campground, that's 21 miles out. 21 miles a day in this van, especially if it's acting up, is out of the question. 5 miles away might not be out of the question if I could be lucky enough to get a space that's 5 miles out, which I highly doubt I will. By middle of September, those spaces, the closer, you know, to work, is going to be taken away up immediately by the early people who showed up in September. Duh, they're going to want to early. You know, nobody wants to drive 20 miles to work every day when they can only drive 5. So those spots will most likely be taken up. So I don't know what I'm going to do in terms of RV sites. It may not be worth my time. There's a Pilot travel center right there that you can buy showers at and stuff like that, and it may be worth my time to buy the occasional shower here and there and stay right near the Amazon fulfillment center, just stealth camping, than it would be to have an RV spot. Because right now I don't have basically I don't have an RV. I have a van with a bed. I don't have the electric setup working. I don't have the water working and everything, so I don't see the point of really being in an RV spot. For sure, unless by chance they happen to be those rare RV spots that actually have a dump station at every single spot, so that you can just stay hooked in with your tanks. That would be nice. In that case, that would be worth it, because then I just have to buy gallon water jugs to keep the toilet sealed, and as long as I don't move the van, the seal of the water level, seal of the toilet would stay that way. But every time I move the van, it like leaks down because that seal isn't right in the toilet, so I'll probably have to replace the toilet in here too, along with a bunch of other crap. So I don't know if it's worth it, my time and effort and money. Maybe someday, maybe not. But anyway, like and subscribe, leave comments, and we'll catch you on the flip. Peace.